Welcome to the third annual Few of the Many Black History Program. This is a program that we've done in collaboration with Anne Arundel County Executive Steuart Pittman and Annapolis Mayor Gavin Buckley. This program is a program that's designed to showcase the talents of African Americans and the contributions they've made in Anne Arundel County. As an author of a recent book that I've published, I understand the importance of recording history and making sure that the history makers are not forgotten. Malcolm X had a tremendous impact on me and others as he stressed the need for us to understand our history and to be able to tell our own stories. And that's what you're going to see tonight. Men and women who've made a contribution to our community. Now, some of the clips you will see are clips that have been sent to us. We hope that as you watch this program this evening, as you listen to the individuals who are being honored, you will recognize how many people in this county have made tremendous contributions. You will also see something else. You will see numerous sites named after African Americans here in Anne Arundel County. The police department is named after, the Annapolis Police Department is named after Chief Joseph S. Johnson. The Anne Arundel County Board of Education building is named after Dr. Carl S. Parham. Anne Arundel Community College has a building named after Katherine Johnson. Many of these men and women you may not have heard of, but they've made a tremendous contribution. When you go to Anne Arundel County, you will discover that there are a number of historic sites here, including the BWI Airport, which is named after Thurgood Marshall. Did you know that there was a Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial that's at Anne Arundel Community College? Are you aware of the Civil Rights Foot Soldiers Memorial, the Kunta Kinte Alex Haley Memorial? All of these memorials exist here in Anne Arundel County. I want to congratulate all of the individuals who've made a tremendous contribution. We thank them. We look forward to their continuing service. The Few of the Many is just a program designed to indicate that we have many, many people who've made tremendous contributions. You will be watching and hearing from a few of them, but remember, there are a lot more who have done great things in our county.
Thank you for joining us this evening, and now let us pray. Father, we thank you for you are all-knowing. You are the creator of all things. When you spoke, everything came into existence. It is because of your grace that we are here tonight. You have given us the ability to walk out our purpose here on the face of the earth. Thank you for each recipient of the Sojourner Douglas Award. May their lives continue to reflect a spirit of servanthood, a spirit of selflessness, and a spirit to continue to fight for truth no matter where they are. Thank you for those who are receiving the Elijah Cummings Award tonight. May they continue to speak truth to power. May they stand on the doors that have been opened for them and push back unfair treatment and unjust treatment. We are called by your name, and we seek your wisdom in our decision making. Grace us today with peace. Cause your face to shine upon us so that we can represent you well on the face of the earth. Bless each recipient and let them know and understand that you see their efforts, and so do we, for the changes that they're trying to make in their communities. It is in Jesus' name we pray. Amen, amen, and amen.
You're about to hear a wonderful rendition of Lift Every Voice and Sing. We call it the Black National Anthem.
Family and friends, we are the Carter and the Parker and Kennedy families. And we will open up with the following selection, which is the Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing.
Now we're about to hear from our distinguished elected officials. We'll be hearing from County Executive Steuart Pittman and Annapolis Mayor Gavin Buckley as they bring greetings on behalf of their respective governments.
Welcome to the third annual Few of the Many Black History Month celebration, brought to you by a partnership between the Office of Anne Arundel County Executive and the Anne Arundel County Caucus of African American Leaders. This event isn't about Black history of the past. This is about the people in our county who are making Black history today. It's the few because we'd be here all night if we recognized the many. But please keep in mind that it's the many who are making the history. The many marched all summer in our county this year in all kinds of neighborhoods led by all kinds of young people. The message was simple: Black Lives Matter. The many marched to the polls in November, removing white supremacist sympathizers from the White House and replacing them with the most diverse government in American history and the first female and the first African American vice president. In Anne Arundel County, many stood up to hate bias, launched a new battle to close the opportunity gap in education, created a health equity and racial justice office, passed a fair housing bill, and are about to create an affordable housing trust fund with revenue from the transfer of $1 million-plus properties in our county. More and more of the many are learning Black history in Anne Arundel County. The history of forced labor, urban removal, voter suppression, and local government-sponsored discrimination and racism. But also the history of hard work, community resilience, creativity, and ethics. The people we honor today in the names of Sojourner Truth and Elijah Cummings are making a new Black history. A Black history that delivers on the promise that we learned about in school when they taught us the Pledge of Allegiance. We are counting on these few and the many they represent to finally deliver that long sought after liberty and justice for all.
Hi, I'm Mayor Buckley. Welcome to the Few of the Many event. I want to congratulate all the winners of the Sojourner Truth Awards, all the winners of the Representative Elijah Cummings Award. It is Black History Month. Black history is so essential to the city of Annapolis. Our city was built on Black history. So congratulations. I want to thank the Caucus of African American Leaders for putting this award on. I look forward to meeting all the recipients, and thank you for what you do for this community.
One of the honorees who will be receiving the Sojourner Truth Award, who could not be with us today, is Sandra Tippy Johnson. Sandra Johnson has made a tremendous contribution to our city, our county, and indeed our nation. She's been working with young people, inspiring them and empowering them to get a good education. She has been honored by many people, and we want to take this occasion to thank Sandra Johnson, who has made a difference. She's one of the few of the many. One of the honorees that cannot be with us is the Honorable Sidney A. Butcher. He is a judge on the Anne Arundel County District Court. He joins a group of distinguished men and women who've served on the Anne Arundel County District Court. There have been very few African Americans who've served on this court. Those who have served include the late Judge S.M. Ricks Jr., Judge Clayton Green Jr., who, by the way, was the first African American to serve. We also have Judge Shane Spencer, who was a former city attorney for the city of Annapolis. And we have the first African American woman to serve, who is Judge Danielle Mosley. We congratulate Judge Butcher for being one of the few. Now we're about to hear from those individuals who have been selected to receive the Congressman Elijah Cummings Award and the Sojourner Truth Award. These distinguished awards are given to these distinguished men and women who will now be giving their brief acceptance speeches.
Hi, my name is Randy Curtis, and I just want to say thank you to the Caucus of African American Leaders, Mayor Buckley, and County Executive Steuart Pittman for nominating me for the Elijah Cummings Award.
Hello, my name is Pastor John Watts. I am the senior pastor of Kingdom Life Church in the wonderful city of Baltimore. And I am so happy to humbly accept this amazing award, this Congressman Elijah Cummings Award, and I thank everyone, certainly the United Black Clergy of Arundel County, Apostle Larry Thomas, and Bishop Antonio Palmer for nominating me. Certainly I thank our mayor, Mr. Buckley, and also our county exec, Steuart Pittman, and most of all, I want to thank God for Dr. Carl Snowden.
Hello, my name is Louis A. Bracey. I'd like to thank the Mayor of Annapolis, Mayor Buckley, and the County Executive Steuart Pittman for awarding me the Elijah Cummings Award for Courage. I will tell you, I'm elated to even be mentioned in the same name with Elijah Cummings. Elijah Cummings was a hero of mine. I met him several times, and to think that I would be included with that great man who left us, I'm just completely honored.
How you doing? It's Comacell Brown Jr., and I'm happily accepting this Congressman Elijah Cummings Award. And I would just like to thank Mayor Gavin Buckley, County Executive Steuart Pittman, Carl Snowden, and the Caucus of African American Leaders. And I thank you for this award. It's very appreciative. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Flaxie Diana Pinkett Bryce. I'm a resident of Pasadena, Maryland, and I just wanted to thank the County Executive Steuart Pittman, Mayor Gavin Buckley, the Caucus of the African Leaders, and the Democratic Central Committee for this award, the Sojourner Truth Award.
Greetings. I am Reverend Thea A. Boykins Wilson. Honor is extended to County Executive Steuart Pittman, Mayor Gavin Buckley, and the Honorable Carl Snowden, convener of the Caucus of African American Leaders and host of this prestigious event and awards ceremony. I am extremely humbled to join this celebration of Black excellence and history in our community, and how grateful I am to be a recipient of the Sojourner Truth Award and to be nominated by the Anne Arundel County chapter of the National Coalition of 100 Black Women Incorporated.
I am Nas Inshira Afi, and I want to give deepest thanks and appreciation to Anne Arundel County Executive Steuart Pittman and to the City of Annapolis Mayor Gavin Buckley, and to the Caucus of African American Leaders led by Carl Snowden for bestowing upon me this prestigious Sojourner Truth Award.
Good evening. My name is Tamla Albias, and I'm a proud resident of the historic Parole community here in Annapolis, Maryland. I'm standing here in front of the Community Health Center at Parole, Inc., a historic landmark here in the city of Annapolis. I would like to thank County Executive Steuart Pittman, the City of Annapolis Mayor Gavin Buckley, the Caucus of African American Leaders for honoring me as a 2021 Sojourner Truth Award recipient. I'd also like to thank the Annapolis Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated for the nomination. Thank you and have a great evening.
My name is Mrs. Fannie Lou Hamer.
As a civil rights activist in the 1960s, Fannie Lou Hamer helped focus attention on the plight of African Americans.
Because we want to live as decent human beings in America.
She came into the national spotlight at the Democratic National Convention in 1964. Attending as a member of the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party, she was part of an integrated group at the convention, vehemently challenging Mississippi's all-white delegation.
Just a year previously, Fannie Lou Hamer was jailed along with other activists and was brutally beaten. While in jail, she encountered the wife of one of those jailers, and Hamer encouraged her to read Acts 17:26, which says that God hath made of one blood all nations. Engage with the Bible in its influence in every sphere.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Drake Smith, and I'm the student member of the Anne Arundel County Board of Education and a senior at Meade High School. And I'm so glad to be with you all, even though it's virtually. I truly want to thank the Caucus of African American Leaders and Mr. Carl Snowden, Mayor Buckley, and County Executive Pittman. I truly appreciate this honor that's bestowed upon me. I really want to thank a man that actually put me up for this award, a mentor of mine, Delegate Mike Rogers. I'm really appreciative of it, and that you really thought so highly of this work that I've been doing over this past year or so. So thank you all again.
Good evening. My name is Morgan Drayton, and I am proud to accept the Sojourner Truth Award. I would like to thank County Executive Steuart Pittman, Mayor Gavin Buckley, Mr. Carl Snowden, and the March On Foundation for nominating me.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lawrence L. Harris, Jr. I live at 1999 Forest Drive, Annapolis, Maryland. I am deeply honored and privileged to receive the prestigious Congressman Elijah Cummings Award from Anne Arundel County Executive Steuart Pittman. I applaud County Executive Pittman for his commitment and recognition of the significant contributions made by many Anne Arundel County African Americans. Additionally, I also wish to extend my sincere gratitude to Mayor Gavin Buckley, Annapolis Ward 3 Alderwoman Rhonda Pendell Charles, and the Caucus of African American Leaders for this prestigious award.
I don't know anyone who understands the power of words more than Maya Angelou. I've been in her home at a party, someone telling a homophobic joke or making fun of someone in a derogatory way, and watched her invite them to leave or stop them in mid-sentence and say, "Not in my house, you won't."
Words are things, I'm convinced. You must be careful about the words you use, or the words you allow to be used in your house. In the Old Testament, we are told in Genesis that in the beginning was the Word. And the Word was God, and the Word was with God. That's in Genesis. Words are things. You must be careful. Careful about calling people out of their names, using racial pejoratives and sexual pejoratives and all that ignorance. Don't do that. Someday we'll be able to measure the power of words. I think they are things. I think they get on the walls. They get in your wallpaper. They get in your rugs, in your upholstery, in your clothes, and finally into you.
Hello everyone, I'm Officer Taylor with the Anne Arundel County Police Department, serving at Weston District Police Station. Thank you County Executive Pittman, Mayor Buckley, and the United Black Clergy. It's an honor to receive this award, and it's a privilege to serve this community and work alongside the people. The community has taught me a lot, and I hope to continue building positive relationships now and in the future.
Hello, attendees to today's event honoring those of us in the local area for our contributions to society. Right now we're standing at the Aris T. Allen statue located at Chickapin Round Road and Aris T. Allen Boulevard. Dr. Allen, as many of you may know, was a physician, a state senator, as well as a beloved member of the community. He sacrificed for the community's good. And as a result of that, this statue where I'm standing at is located here at Chickapin Round Road. I want to thank the folks that have nominated me for this award, Judge Vicki Gibson and the members of the Caucus of African American Leaders and other groups thank County Executive Pittman, Steuart Pittman, and the Annapolis Mayor, Buckley.
Good evening. First, I would like to say Happy Black History Month. My name is Nicole Butler, affectionately known as Nikki in the community. I would like to thank County Executive Steuart Pittman, Mayor Buckley, Carl Snowden from the Caucus of African American Leaders, and most importantly, Delegate Mike Rogers for honoring me for the Sojourner Truth Award tonight.
Hi everyone, my name is Jacqueline Call, and I'm so honored to be nominated for the Sojourner Truth Award. I would like to thank County Executive Steuart Pittman and the Mayor of Annapolis, Buckley. I would also like to thank the entire Caucus of African American Leaders, especially Ms. Vicki Gibson, for nominating me for this award.
Hello, my name is Brian Sims. I'm a physician working here in the city of Annapolis, and I want to give special thanks for the honor in receiving this award. I'd like to give special thanks to the Mayor, Mayor Gavin Buckley. I'd also like to give thanks to our county executive, Mr. Steuart Pittman. To give thanks as well to the Caucus of African American Leaders, and a special shout out to Alderwoman Sheila Finlayson. I am truly honored by this award, and thank you so much for it.
I am Jacqueline Boone, Allsup, President of the Anne Arundel County branch of the NAACP, and second Vice President for the Maryland State Conference for the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. I am humbled to receive the Sojourner Truth Award on behalf of the Anne Arundel County branch of the NAACP. I would like to thank Dr. Mary Dodoni for nominating me, and I would also like to thank County Executive Steuart Pittman, Mayor Gavin Buckley, and the caucus convener, Carl Snowden.
Good evening. My name is Frederick C. Howard. To County Executive Steuart Pittman, Democratic Party District 31, Mayor Gavin Buckley, and all parties assembled. It is indeed an honor to accept this most prestigious award.
My name is Rhonda Caldwell Dove, raised on Caldwell Road in the Freetown community and the product of the public school system in Anne Arundel County, and nurtured spiritually at St. Mark United Methodist Church in Hanover. Thank you, County Executive Steuart Pittman, Annapolis Mayor Gavin Buckley, and to the Caucus of African American Leaders of Anne Arundel County, and to Chairman, Civil Rights and Community Activist Carl Snowden. Thank you for this honor.
Peace and power to the ancestors. My name is Adetola Ajayi. I'd like to thank the Caucus of African American Leaders, the Honorable Carl Snowden, County Executive Steuart Pittman, Mayor Gavin Buckley, and the March on Maryland for nominating me for the Few of the Many Elijah Cummings Award in this February 2021 in Black History Month.
Good evening, I'm Angela McKay, and I am very honored to receive the prestigious Sojourner Truth Award. I'd like to thank County Executive Steuart Pittman, Mayor Gavin Buckley, Carl Snowden, and the Caucus of African American Leaders, as well as my older woman, Sheila Finlayson.
Greetings. I am Beryle Downs, and I am grateful to stand today to receive the Sojourner Truth Award. The Sojourner Truth Award means so much. She was a woman of strength and character. I thank the Caucus of African American Leaders, Steuart Pittman, our county executive, and Mayor Gavin Buckley for this honor. I thank Delegate Henson for nominating me and for allowing me to serve on her team. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Dajuan. I'm the Alderman of the 6th Ward in the city of Annapolis. I'm humbled and honored to be nominated for the Congressman Elijah Cummings, A Few of the Many Award. I'd like to thank County Executive Steuart Pittman, Mayor Gavin Buckley, and the Caucus of African American Leaders.
I'm Delegate Shaneka Henson. Thank you and congratulations to all my fellow honorees. It is an honor to receive the Sojourner Truth Award at the Few of the Many ceremony. Thank you to the MLK Nominating Committee. Thank you to our County Executive Steuart Pittman, to Mayor Gavin Buckley, and to our host this evening, Carl Snowden.
Hello, my name is Lynn Farrow. I'm the Assistant City Manager for the City of Annapolis. I want to take this opportunity to thank the Caucus of African American Leaders for the nomination, Mayor Gavin Buckley, County Executive Steuart Pittman, and the Caucus of African American Leaders for honoring me with the Sojourner Truth Award.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Antonio Downing. I'm humbled to be a recipient of the 2021 Congressman Elijah Cummings Community Award. I'd like to thank the Caucus of African American Leaders, Anne Arundel County Executive Steuart Pittman, and Annapolis Mayor Gavin Buckley for selecting me for this prestigious award.
You've heard of Maya Angelou, you've heard of Nikki Giovanni. Well, you're about to see one local poet who is just as great, in our opinion, as they are. She will be an emerging leader in the future. Kyrie Stinson.
Hi, my name is Kyrie Stinson. I would like to thank Mayor Gavin Buckley, County Exec Steuart Pittman, and the Caucus of African American Leaders for the opportunity to perform for you today. This piece is titled, We Rise. They say we are our ancestors' wildest dreams, but it seems that we've forgotten what that phrase truly means. You see, we are royalty, cut from the finest cloth of the Most High. We are love and peace, the most precious thing in God's eye. He made us with hair like wool and skin that's loved by the sun. For years we were pushed and pulled, whipped, beaten, and hung. Now we still fight this battle, despite the weight on our soul, till we're not seen as cattle or just 3/5. We are whole. You see, everyone can't handle this beauty. Our captors stripped it away, then treated dark skin cruelly. We reject hate every day. Jim called us black as soot, but from the ashes we rise. I prefer black as charcoal, because like flames, we never die.
We declare our right on this earth to be a man, to be a human being, to be respected as a human being, to be given the rights of a human being in this society, on this earth, in this day, which we intend to bring into existence by any means necessary.
Now we have a special treat for you. County Executive Pittman will be interviewing two of the honorees. One is the recipient of the Congressman Elijah Cummings Award, and the other is the recipient of the Sojourner Truth Award. These two individuals, Randy Curtis, and Lynn Farrow, are the ones that have been chosen to be interviewed. Listen to their story.
I am Anne Arundel County Executive Steuart Pittman, and I'm honored to have with me Randy Curtis here. And the reason that I'm meeting with Randy is that Randy is one of our honorees for the Elijah Cummings Award that we're doing for Black History Month. And it's, we call it a few of the many. It's the third year that we've done this. And the idea is that we're recognizing people who are making Black history, not just people who have made Black history. So you're planning to make some more history, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You made a bit already. Well, let me be honest. I mean, we picked you for this award because you've been doing some amazing work with the Partnership for Children, Youth, and Families. And then the big thing you did this year was you organized the 1,000-man march.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Tell us about that and how you came up with that idea.
Well, first, it's an honor, and I thank the Black Caucus of African American Leaders for nominating me. I thank you for doing this interview with me. You know, the 1,000-man march came about, I believe, in my eyes, it was years of thoughts that just came together and was made a reality. I've done a lot of community activism work all over the United States of America, and I wanted to do something where I'm from. I'm originally from Annapolis. I'm from Maryland, and I've lived all over the country, but I wanted to make my stamp here at home. So the 1,000-man march was to show not only that the Black community has an agenda, but we're unified. Oftentimes, we're propagated that we're ununified, or that everyone wants to be the big eyes, and there's a lot of chiefs and no Indians. So I said, okay, I'm gonna bring all the chiefs together to show you and show the world that we know how to get along and that we have unity. It may not be uniformity, but it's unity. We don't all look the same. We're not all a part of the same organizations or have the same backgrounds, but we do have common causes. And I wanted the world to see that in Annapolis, Maryland, and in Anne Arundel County, that we can all herald a sound together in unity. And guess what? When we did that, it also showed the people that were non-Black who support our plight and our fight and our struggle and understand that there are social injustices and there's economic and educational barriers and systemic things set up in place. And you were one of the people that showed up, and it was so inspiring to see that a county executive and even the mayor and different other political leaders,
you
delegates,
had everybody.
Yeah, everyone was there. You know, and that was the goal, was to get everyone there and say, okay, look, this is what leadership looks like. This is what raising your voice looks like. This is how you get the attention. And now that we have the attention, we're going to make hurl some sounds and make some changes together.
So that was a pretty brave thing to do, to say 1,000.
Yeah.
I mean, I had been to, and I'm sure you had been to, a number of marches that summer already,
yes.
Black Lives Matter marches, and they ranged from 25 people in a neighborhood to hundreds of people, but 1,000 people in Annapolis. When I heard that, I was worried because I thought maybe 1,000 people wouldn't show up, and when I got there, it was for real 1,000 people, at least 1,000 people on City Dock.
Yeah.
How'd you feel that day when they actually showed up?
So honestly,
they were coming.
I knew they were going to come because, as you said earlier, the community work, the influence, even the job position that I have with Anne Arundel County Partnership for Youth and Children. Having a great father that I have, Bishop Antonio Palmer, and
we'll get to him in a minute.
Yeah, but just all those things I knew. So when I saw, I was like, okay, it's more than 1,000 people here. How are we going to do this during the pandemic? And the whole thing. And I wanted to be respectful of policies and things that were set in place. And it happened, and I was my breath was taken away, and it was peaceful.
Oh, it was very, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
It was more than, it was inspiring. It was some of the speakers and the music.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
I was sitting right next to where the speakers were with my head turned this way the whole time. And that night I came home and I noticed I was sunburned on one half of my face. No, that was a great day. So you're a dad.
Yes.
Five
children.
So you got a real stake in the future.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you, when you think about the future for your kids, what are your worries? What are your hopes?
My worries is that I don't want to live my life not poured out in a way where it doesn't affect change for them as black children. I worry for them in the educational field, in the system of education, because there's not a lot of black educators that are like the teachers, especially in the earlier, the elementary, middle school schools that are there, and that could push more the school to prison pipeline. And what I mean by that is there's a cultural difference that our children express themselves in a different way, and to another culture it may be interpreted as them being rude or loud or boisterous, but actually they're excited, they're passionate, they want to learn. And
when you talk about that other culture, you mean the white culture,
yes,
right?
Absolutely. And so I'll give an example. No name dropping, but my oldest son, I'm not going to even say the school he was attending, but my oldest son, he was in school and he loves math. So anytime there was a math problem and the teacher would ask, okay, did anyone know the answer? He would spat it out. Oh, sorry, I didn't raise my hand. It was excitement. She took it as disrespect. So, and I believe it was, my child was looked at as under the assumption that there was no man in the home. And so I showed up to the school and everyone's shocked. Yes, because there is a man in the home. That stigma that there's no black fathers in the home, that's a propagated stigma. Yes, there's some black men that need to step up. However, there are majority black men in the home that's taking care of their children. And so I wanted to show that. And when I showed that, I realized that the interactions and the emails I was getting from the teachers started to become different.
Wow.
Oh, just teach him how to raise his hand instead of giving him a referral for being rude or sending him to talk to a therapist because he didn't raise his hand. Now it's okay, just make sure you let him know. So I teach my son at home, hey son, just raise your hand. I know you're excited, just raise your hand. Those kind of differences need to be made at the educational level. Financially, I have to hurl past obstacles because black Americans only have 2.6% of the nation's wealth. So leaving an inheritance for my children and their children is something that I have to establish, and financial literacy is something that I have to teach my children as well. And I have 5 children, so it's going to be a lot of teaching. But I had to learn it myself, apply it myself, and then actually give them something, some finances, some things that they can have for their future to use financial literature towards. Those are the kind of changes I want to make. I don't want my children to have to worry about walking down the street and getting harassed by police officers. I don't want my children to have to worry about walking down the street and fitting the description, or driving their car and they go to get the registration and they get shot, or have a knee placed on their necks or anything like that. And if that means that I have to be a voice and I have to step up and speak out and I have to speak truth to power, then so be it. I'll do that, because I don't just care about my children. I care about all black children, specifically in Anne Arundel County.
Okay, so you mentioned your dad earlier on, and I know your dad pretty well.
Yeah.
It seems like I'm in a meeting with him about 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Bishop Antonio Palmer, and he's I guess he's the vice chair of or the vice president of the United Black Clergy, but always out there, always at everything we do. It seems like in the community, he's there, and he's either behind the scenes pushing it or he's in front leading it. So what's your relationship like with him? I mean, I know you're part of the church, his church, and because I've seen you there, working all the equipment in the back.
I'm usually the guy behind the camera.
I mean, were you always close, or what's it been like having a father who's such a leader in the community?
My father is my best friend. He's my brother. He's my father. He's my mentor. He's a shoulder I lean on to. He's where I learned manhood from. He's where I got my first words of wisdom, where I was able to show emotion. These things that I have today that make me such the great man that I am, I inherited those traits from him. He taught me the value of integrity. He taught me how to love myself and not violate myself. And that way I won't violate my neighbor or anyone around me. He taught me how to speak truth to power. He taught me how to hold conversation. He taught me how to defend myself against brutality and being bullied. He taught me how to honor women and how to fight for women. He taught me how to fight for those that are getting bullied and those that are disenfranchised. He taught me these values. He taught me it's okay, son, if you're hurting sometimes. He taught me these values, not just by words, but by watching his lifestyle. And having that kind of example in the home is what a lot of black men yearn for. And I'm just one of the lucky ones that received that kind of example. So me and my father are extremely close. In fact, the reason why I came back to Maryland was because I wanted to be a better son to my father. Growing up, I was a little of a knucklehead and was ripping, running the streets and doing my thing, you know. I call it my BC days, before Christ, before I gave my life to the Lord. And, you know, he never gave up on me. He never gave up on me. He stuck by my, even in the darkest days of my life, he stuck by me. And he corrected me. He told me the truth. I didn't like it, but he stuck by me. And he showed me what loyalty looks like as a man. And so, yeah, those are the values. Those are just a broad overview of the values he taught me.
That was a list.
Yeah.
That was quite a list. And I don't know many people who can describe their father as also their brother and their best friend.
Yeah.
That says a lot.
Yeah.
That says a lot. Let you give a plug for the church too. It's Kingdom Celebration, right?
Kingdom Celebration Center, where we love God, love people, fulfill needs. Our food distributions on Mondays are at 1350 Blair Drive, Odenton, Maryland. Our sanctuary has moved down the street to 952 Annapolis Road, Gambrills, Maryland. It's literally a 2-minute drive from our previous location in Odenton. So, yeah.
Well, I want to thank you. I want to thank him for teaching me a lot of things. And you mentioned the other day that you felt like I was watching you sometimes, and that I have been, because I have so much respect for him, and I know the work that you're doing, and I'm so glad you're doing it. And I'm going to learn from you, and we're gonna make some change in this county. So
yes,
thank
sir,
you.
We will. Thank
you so much.
Right.
I'm Anne Arundel County Executive Steuart Pittman, and I am proud to be here with Lynn Farrow, who is the Assistant City Manager for the City of Annapolis, but also is a recipient of the Sojourner Truth Award, which is part of a few of the many, which is our Anne Arundel County Black History Month celebration organized with the Caucus of African American Leaders. And the idea is that we're recognizing not only Black history of the past, but with this award, Black history of the present being made and the future. And so you are making Black history, are you not, Lynn?
I guess so. I never thought about it that way, but
really,
I guess I am.
Well, we're all making history.
We're all making history. I try to make history, but yes, I am the first African American to serve in this role, and I, you know, I'm right behind the city manager, so you know, I probably have a pretty high level of responsibility in city government, which is awesome.
You do. I mean, and when were you hired into this job?
I was hired into this job so I was there for a year in July. So it would have been July 19.
Okay, because I remember when you came in, because we have regular meetings with the mayor and with the elected representatives in District 30, and you just came in with a presence like you'd been there forever and you were kind of in charge. Do you feel that way?
No.
No, you don't?
No. No, I don't.
You seem to know everything. You worked in Annapolis before that, right?
I worked in Annapolis before. I was a grants coordinator when Josh Cohen was mayor.
Okay.
And I'd worked for state government. So, you know, I'd been around, and I worked for the Democratic Party many, many years ago.
Okay.
So,
okay, that's why you know everybody and everything, right?
Well, I don't know everything, but and I always say that, you know, I don't know everything. Everyone knows something that I don't know. So obviously, I don't know everything, but I know a lot. Yes, I know a lot.
Well, could you? I mean, since you've risen to a very high level in government, can you tell us and tell young people who might aspire to that something about your career and some of the challenges you faced getting there?
Oh, well, thank you. Sure. One thing I will say is that where you start off probably has nothing to do with where you're going to end up, and so you know, don't fret about knowing what you want to be when you grow up, because you can be so many things. And I have been blessed with a career that has allowed me to do that. My undergraduate degree is in business, but my major was fashion merchandising.
Oh yeah, explains why you're always so well dressed. Okay.
No, I'm so well dressed because I had a mother who would sew and was very fashionable. My mother and my grandmother, but and so they, you know, you just didn't leave the house without being just right. But in that part of my life where I was trying to decide what I wanted to do, I was so sure at 17 that I wanted to be a buyer in a big department store, and you know, that's what I wanted to do. And I've done so many great things since then, so many fun things, that I'm glad that I had that experience, but I'm also glad that I've had all of these other experiences too. And so, you know, you wonder sometimes about yourself, and you question your own abilities many times when other people question you. When you walk into a room and, like you said, people, I looked like I was in charge. Many times that's threatening to people who are not secure with themselves. Who is this woman? Where does she come off? You know, doesn't she know her place? And so sometimes that has gotten in the way of my success, because people want to hold you back when they see you're secure in who you are.
Right.
And so I've never, you know, my mom told me from the very, I guess, day I was born that I was a little black girl and I had to work twice as hard as everyone else to make it. And that is the truth. And so for young people, unfortunately, in even today, we still have to work twice as hard. We have to be twice as smart. We have to study twice as long, not because we don't know or not because we can't achieve the way other people can, but because the expectation for us is so much higher than it is for others. And so excellence is imperative. And, you know, I look at young people like Mo Lloyd and Alderman Gay and Dee Ward, and, you know, and I admire them so much because they really love their community and they believe in excellence. And so, you know, I want that for every young person. That is part of why I push so hard in my role. Many times people say, well, the city doesn't run the school system. The city doesn't have schools. The city doesn't, but we can still advocate on behalf of the families that live in our communities who need someone to advocate for them. And that's one thing I'll say is until everyone starts to advocate for each other, we won't change this world. You know, this place in which we live is challenging, and you're better for the challenge, and you can live up to the challenge, but many days you go home and just want to put your head in your hands and cry.
and wonder why people challenge you so.
You're talking more like an organizer and an advocate than a government bureaucrat to me, which is great to hear. But you mentioned that you got into some political stuff with the Democratic Party, and then you mentioned the job with the city, under Mayor Cohen with doing grants. Were those connected? Was that a career shift for you, where you got political and then it became a job?
So the working for the party was a total accident.
Oh.
So I was doing real estate development in Baltimore. So I was building Checkers restaurants. Oh, I guess we can't say that on TV, can we? We can't say the brand names. I was building fast food restaurants and
we can say anything we want. We can throw people under the bus if we want. So go ahead.
And pharmacies in Baltimore as a development consultant, and I got invited to go to the Democratic Convention, and so on the bus back to the airport from the convention, they offered me a job at the state party. And my projects, I had a bunch of projects, but they were all ending, and felt like I needed to move on. So I was in grad school at the time. I thought, well, this is a great segue to make myself serious about grad school and actually finish. Mm-hmm. So while I was finishing grad school, I worked at the party, and after that, then I went to work for state government. So I worked for state government for about 6 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So I've been in and out of nonprofits and government over the years, but it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, that's why you have so many perspectives from different directions and wisdom, right?
I guess. If you say so.
I don't know. You're not old enough to be wise, but you seem wise to me.
I'm probably old enough to be wise.
All right. So I'm going to ask you a question where you're going to have to be wise to answer it, which is you've talked about the people, the young people you respect that are really working in the community right now. And so I know that's part of your answer, but what's it going to take to get us to the point where African American people don't have to work twice as hard and study twice as hard and prove themselves, and where where basically racism is no longer such a defining thing in this country and in this community?
We will not be able to grow and become the country that we were meant to be until white people advocate for us and speak the truth and accept the truth. Steuart, and that's one of the things I say about you. You speak your truth, and so many people feel that it is offensive to them that we speak our truth. But when people say Black history is American history, many times white people don't see that. And so until white people say, we're all in this together, and if we all do better, we all do better, then it's just not going to happen.
Or maybe even more than just say it, but mean it.
Mean it. Say it. Mean it. Live it.
Right.
And so, it's until America understands that being American is more than just being white, then we have a long way to go. And right now, I don't see it happening anytime soon. I think that the culture of the African American culture is not seen as American culture. And so Hispanic culture, Black culture, Asian culture is not seen as American culture. But that is what we were meant to be. We were meant to be a melting pot where
all of the cultures come together and make American culture. But that's not the world we live in right now.
So it's really just changing the vision completely of what America is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm down for it. Let's keep working on it.
Let's keep working on it.
I feel like we got this whole thing. Few of the many is we got some great people in this county working to make that happen, and hopefully we got some great white people as well as some great African American people as well as some great Hispanic people, and we're all going to do it together. Yes. So, thank you.
Yeah. No, thank you for being the leader that you are. I mean, we're fortunate to have both you and Gavin Buckley as leaders in our community because you both see America as it should be.
Well, I'm looking forward to the first African American county executive of Anne Arundel County.
Wow, won't that be something?
Yeah. Maybe it'll be the next one right after me.
Maybe.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
We would like to thank all of our viewers for watching this great ceremony, celebration, the few of the many. It is my privilege and opportunity to give the benediction. Shall we pray? Spirit of the living God, we thank you for this momentous occasion. Let every heart continue to be happy as we celebrate it. So many wonderful people who have done great things in our community. I ask that your blessings would just exude and they would be saturated with your joy, your love, and your peace as they continue the great work that they have already started. In your name, Jesus, we pray. Amen. And God bless you.
This incredible program was brought to you by the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Committee, who helped fund this entire program. We're grateful to the committee, and we're grateful to the many other sponsors and supporters. In a moment, you're going to see the credits of the many men and women who were involved in making this production a success. A special thank you to you, the viewers, and the honorees who are watching this evening's program, because together we can and will make a difference.